I always thought beige and black was an elegant combo, until I saw myself in a group photo and looked completely washed out. If you've ever felt like your outfit was missing something, or that your clothes are making you look older than you feel, this video is for you. I've worked in fashion for over 15 years, and I've seen how the wrong color pairings can ruin even the most expensive wardrobe. Today, I'm revealing 6 outdated color combos that are silently aging your style, and which modern pairings can actually lift your look. One in particular is still promoted in fashion magazines. But I'll show you why it doesn't work anymore, especially on mature skin tones. Let's start with a combo that I see everywhere: rust and olive. Earth tones are cozy, and these two shades are often sold together in stores. But while they may look harmonious on a clothing rack, they can look really muddy and muted on the body, especially if you're over 50. On mature skin, this combo tends to suck out all the light, making your complexion look dull or even sallow. Rust, which is essentially a brownish orange, can work beautifully when balanced with the right companion. But olive doesn't provide enough contrast to keep the look fresh, it just adds to the heaviness. Together, they create an outdated, almost craft fair chic vibe that can feel a little too crunchy. It's one of those combinations that people associate with a very specific moment in time, and not in a flattering way. The good news? Both colors can still shine, just not together. Rust looks amazing with soft denim, bone white, or even sky blue. Olive, on the other hand, becomes incredibly elegant when paired with blush pink, light tan, or ivory. You can still enjoy those earthy tones without looking like you're stuck in a 1997 catalog. And because I know it can be tough to visualize these switches, I've added links to some good products in the description box below. These are pieces that work really well for women over 50 and show how to wear rust and olive the modern way. I hand-picked them myself, and you can take a look after this video. Just scroll down when you're done watching. Now let's talk about a color pairing that screams retro in the wrong way: mustard and brown. These colors were everywhere in the 70s, from sofas to sweaters, and unfortunately, they still find their way back into fall fashion collections every now and then. While the individual shades might feel warm and nostalgic, pairing them together can make an outfit look old-fashioned, like you're wearing a thrifted costume rather than something fresh and flattering. Mustard is already a tricky color on mature skin because it has a green-yellow undertone that can clash with natural complexion changes we experience as we age. And brown, especially darker red-toned browns, adds even more heaviness to the look. Instead of feeling cozy and rich, this combo ends up looking muddy and tired. And worse, it can make your skin tone appear dull or even yellowed by comparison. I tried this pairing last fall with a mustard cardigan and brown corduroy pants. It looked fine in the mirror, until I saw it in daylight. I felt like I had zero definition. It didn't feel elegant or intentional. These are the kinds of outfits that people don't comment on, not because they're bad, but because they're forgettable. That's something I try to avoid in my 40s, and especially when speaking to women over 50, we want to look remembered, not dated. Another pairing I see often, especially in transitional wardrobes, is teal and plum. These colors are beautiful on their own, rich, vibrant, full of personality. But when you put them together, something about the pairing feels stuck in the early 2000s. It reminds me of department store mannequins or fall scarves we used to see in catalogs. It's not inherently bad, it just feels out of sync with modern style. The problem with teal and plum together is they both compete for attention. Teal has a bluish-green energy, while plum has a reddish-purple depth. Together, they often create a visual tug-of-war that lacks harmony. And on mature skin, this clash can make the complexion look ruddy or uneven, especially if either tone leans too cool or too saturated. I found this combo rarely photographs well, and it tends to age an outfit rather than update it. Several years ago, I wore a teal blouse with plum trousers to a networking event, thinking I was doing something bold. But it felt chaotic and mismatched, like I couldn't decide if I wanted to be warm or cool-toned. I ended up avoiding all photos from that night, which says a lot. And I know many of you watching have probably had that same experience of loving two colors, but realizing they don't love each other back when they're worn together. And finally, let's look at a color duo that feels classic on paper, but often doesn't translate well in real life: white and bright red. This combination can feel harsh, especially on mature skin. Bright red on its own is already a power color, but when paired with pure white, it can look a little flag-like. And unfortunately, that kind of contrast can be unflattering, making your skin look blotchy or ruddy, especially under natural light. I remember wearing a white blouse with bright red pants and red earrings for a 4th of July barbecue. I thought it was festive and sharp, but the photos were another story. It looked aggressive, not polished. The white was too crisp, the red too loud, and the overall look felt like I was trying too hard. It lacked softness, movement, and balance, all the things we want from clothes as we evolve our personal style. If you enjoy red, try a deeper cherry red or a brick red and mix it with ivory, light gray, or even muted navy. These pairings soften the look and add a bit of mystery. And instead of a white blouse, go for cream or ecru. It's warmer and far more forgiving. You'll still make a statement, but it won't overpower your features. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever worn red and white and felt like something was off, but couldn't figure out why? Or is there a color combo you used to love, but recently realized doesn't work for you anymore? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know what you've noticed in your own wardrobe journey. Now, here's a combination I used to think was soft and elegant: lilac and gray. It gives off this calm, understated mood that feels perfect for spring or even early fall. But the more I wore it and observed it on women over 50, the more I realized it was doing the exact opposite of what I wanted my outfits to do. Instead of bringing light or dimension to the face, this combo can wash you out completely. Lilac is one of those colors that walks a very fine line. When it's too pastel or powdery, it starts to look juvenile. When it leans cooler, it turns icy, especially on silver or gray hair. Now pair that with gray trousers or a gray cardigan, and you have a recipe for a flat, faded appearance. There's no tension in the outfit, nothing to lift or contrast your features. That's especially noticeable as we age and start losing natural contrast in our skin tone, hair, and eyes. I wore a lilac blouse with gray slacks to a brunch a few months ago, and I felt invisible. No joke. The outfit felt thoughtful at first, but in pictures and under natural light, I looked tired and washed out. I even had someone ask if I was feeling okay. That was my cue to rethink this combination. And if you've had similar experiences with lilac or pale grays, you know exactly what I mean. So here's a better way to approach it. Pair lilac with deeper taupes, light camel, or even white if you want that soft vibe, but keep the texture interesting. And instead of a flat gray, try charcoal with a blue undertone or switch to a mauve that has more warmth. The goal is to preserve that feminine, romantic feel without disappearing into the background. Now, before we get into the last color combo, I want you to lean in, because this one still shows up everywhere, from editorial spreads to Instagram stylists and even department store windows. It's the one pairing that seems immune to criticism, but once I point out what's really happening, you'll start to see it differently, especially on mature skin. Yes, it's that classic pairing, black and white, chic, timeless, always in fashion, or so they say. But here's the truth. On women over 50, this combo can be shockingly unflattering. I know. It's hard to believe. We've been told black and white is the ultimate failsafe, the go-to for feeling elegant. But when you strip away the myth and actually see how this combo sits on mature skin, it can be a little harsh, almost jarring. Here's why. Black and white are the most high-contrast pairing in the color world. The starkness between them can actually emphasize texture in the skin, especially around the neck and jawline. And if you have gray or silver hair, this combo can make your hair look dull rather than luminous. I used to rely on a black blazer with a white blouse as my safe outfit, until I caught a glimpse of myself in sunlight and realized it was making me look drawn and severe. And what makes it tricky is that black and white are still everywhere. You see celebrities in them, fashion spreads praising them. It's considered editorial, minimal, modern. But what works in magazines under perfect lighting and filters doesn't always work in real life, especially not at lunch, running errands, or just living our beautiful everyday lives. Now, I'm not saying never wear black and white, but soften the edges. Try off-white with black, or add a pop of color near the face, like a scarf in coral or teal. Swap bright white for ivory, or mix in texture like tweed or boucle. It's all about balance. And if fashion editors knew what I know from years of styling real women over 50, they'd be telling a very different story. If this video helped you rethink your color choices, then you're going to love what's coming next. I'm sharing 8 color combinations that make you look expensive over 50, and these are the exact pairings I reach for when I want to look elevated without spending a fortune. If you're curious to see which tones bring out your glow and make any outfit look luxe, trust me, you don't want to miss it.